Imagine your brain as a train, every belief a carriage, every emotion the engine, every decision the tracks laid down years ago. When you were too young, too scared, or too distracted to say, wait, does this shit even make sense? And that train is running loops, same loops, over and over, same reaction, same arguments, same limitations. That's not reality. That's a fucking pattern. Enter the meta model. It's not a tool, not a nice communication strategy. It's the emergency brake for that whole runaway train of unconscious conditioning. Someone says, I'm not good enough. You say, compared to who? They say, people don't care. You say, which people specifically? They say, it always goes wrong. You say, always, as in every time. And boom, train halts, the fog clears, the illusion cracks like glass under pressure, and suddenly, there's a choice. When you challenge vagueness, the prefrontal cortex activates. That's the CEO of your brain. It lights up like Times Square on DMT. Why? Because you're forcing specificity. And specificity is the language of clarity. Deletions, you fill in the blanks. Distortions, you straighten the twisted lens. Generalizations, you break the chains that say always, never, everybody, nobody. What happens next? Neuroplasticity. The brain goes, oh shit. I guess there's more than one way to see this. Let's rewire. Imagine a 5-year-old says, I can't draw. You kneel, look them dead in the eye and say, can't ever? Or just today? What kind of drawing are you thinking of? How do you know if you could draw? That kid, their mind just cracked open like a sunflower facing light. Now you're that kid, and your job is to parent your own damn sentences. You already do this, you just forgot. Ever get into an argument and say, that's not what I meant? Boom. You just meta-modeled yourself. You chunked down into what was deleted or distorted. Ever say to a friend, wait, but how do you know they were mad? You chunked down and you exposed the assumption, the distortion. Ever question a limiting belief like, I always screw things up. And remember, 5 times that you didn't. You shattered a generalization. You're not new to this. You've just been doing it randomly. Time to do it on command. If you don't do this, here's what happens. You live in the shadows of assumptions. You react to ghosts and defend illusions. You inherit beliefs that aren't even yours. You stay in relationships, jobs and loops that you should have walked away from a lifetime ago. When you do use the meta model, you become unshakable. You call bullshit on lies masquerading as truth. You become the person the people go to when they want the fog gone and the truth raw. You become the divine pattern breaker. You become the architect of clarity. If you don't use this, you keep repeating patterns from your childhood. Your partner tells you, you never listen, and you believe it without question. Your boss says, you're just not leadership material, and you absorb it, like it's divine judgment. You age, you atrophy. You live half alive. Do use this. Someone says you're not qualified. You say, according to whose definition? What's the specific criteria? You get clarity. You ask better questions. You stop reacting. Start engineering your life. Chunk down to the details. What exactly happened? Chunk up to the bigger picture. What's the bigger pattern here? Example, your friend says, I'm scared of being judged. Chunk down to the details. By who specifically? In what situation? What would they say? chunk up to the big picture. If judgment didn't matter, what would open up for you? Now you've opened a portal. They were in a prison of fear. Now the door fucking opens. As you keep listening, your mind is already noticing how vague thoughts, they seem a little more flimsy now. How the patterns you used to run, they start to feel a little looser in their grip. How always and never feel a little fake. And maybe you don't know exactly how this new clarity is becoming part of you. You don't have to. Because just like your breath breathes itself, your mind it's already rewiring. It's remembering what it forgot. That you are the filter of language. That you're not the beliefs, but the chooser of what gets believed. And now, whenever someone speaks vague, confusing, emotionally loaded bullshit, your brain goes, yes, time to metamodel the fuck out of this. It's automatic, because it's already begun. If someone says, this feels overwhelming, you say, it's overwhelming because it's new, or because it matters. Feel that. That's the sound of a belief being rearranged. So who are you now? You're the flashlight in the fog, the wrecking ball to vague thought, the sacred fuck you to conditioned illusions, the architect, the refiner, the breaker of loops, the divine frequency of precision, of clarity, of surgical linguistic power. Because when you speak now, it's not just words. It's scalpel, it's sword, it's truth in motion.